Ever get that sinking feeling when you're in one of those he said, she said
Oh,
situations?
totally.
Yeah, today we're diving into a story that shows just how hard it can be to clear your name,
Mm,
even when you've done nothing wrong.
yeah.
Think comedian, an alleged extortion attempt, and a $12 million lawsuit,
Wow.
all because of the power of words.
It's amazing how this case, brings together like personal relationships, public image, and the legal system,
Right.
and it really highlights how accusations, they can stick with you,
Oh, yeah.
even when they're proven false.
So this story, it goes back to 2017.
Okay.
Kevin Hart found himself in the middle of a sex tape scandal.
Uh-huh.
This was in Las Vegas.
Oh, wow.
The media, they went crazy.
Ah.
Absolutely wild.
And right in the middle of all of that, one of Hart's close friends, J.T. Jackson, he was accused of trying to extort Hart
Oh, wow.
with that very tape.
So Jackson, though, he's always said he was falsely accused.
Right.
He had nothing to do with making or releasing the tape.
And get this, the charges against him were eventually dropped in 2021.
Really?
Yeah.
But that's actually where things get really interesting.
Okay.
So even though Jackson was cleared, he says that this accusation really messed up his life.
Wow.
It affected his career, his mental health.
Yeah.
It even made his PTSD worse.
Whoa, PTSD, that's intense. I mean, I can see how being publicly accused, all right, of something like that would be incredibly stressful. But PTSD,
Yeah.
that seems like a whole other level of trauma.
Yeah, you see, even when those accusations are disproven, your brain, it can get stuck in that fight or flight mode. And all that constant stress can make conditions like PTSD even worse. Makes
Yeah,
it really hard to get back to normal.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
So then fast forward to 2021, Jackson and Hart, they reach a settlement agreement.
Okay.
Part of that was that Hart would publicly clear Jackson's name.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And this is where the details get really important.
Okay.
So the agreement was very specific. Okay.
Hart had to state publicly that Jackson was not involved in the extortion attempt.
Got it.
And this public exoneration, it was crucial for Jackson to try and rebuild his reputation,
Right.
to move on from this whole ordeal.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so this focus on the specific wording is really key
Yeah.
because it leads directly to that $12 million lawsuit Jackson filed against Hart.
Oh, wow.
Exactly.
So Hart made a statement on Instagram.
Right.
He acknowledged that the charges against Jackson had been dropped, but Jackson claims it wasn't enough. It didn't explicitly say Jackson was innocent of the extortion, which is what the agreement said.
Right.
It had to say.
So to Jackson, the statement was too vague.
Uh-huh.
He felt like it didn't do enough to fix his reputation.
Yeah.
And ultimately, this led to the lawsuit.
Got it.
So the lawsuit, it hinges on breach of contract. Basically, Jackson is arguing that Hart didn't hold up his end of the deal.
Okay, that's pretty serious.
Right.
What exactly is Jackson looking for in this lawsuit?
He's asking for $12 million
Wow.
to cover damages for breach of contract, the emotional distress he's experienced, and the damage to his career.
Right.
But this isn't just about how the statement was worded. Jackson also claims that Hart's team, they fabricated evidence
Oh, really?
and made misleading statements during the investigation, which further damaged his reputation.
Yeah, those are serious accusations. They add another layer of complexity to the case.
Absolutely.
But remember, we're just presenting the facts here,
Of course.
just as they are in the sources.
Of course, of course. But this case, it goes beyond just these two individuals.
Okay.
It raises questions about fame, public perception,
Yeah.
and how quickly things can unravel when accusations become public.
Absolutely. I mean, you have Kevin Hart. He's famous.
Right,
And that fame adds a whole other dimension to this.
right.
For a celebrity like Hart, managing his public image is huge.
Oh, yeah.
Everything he does is under a microscope.
And for Jackson, his career has been put on hold.
Right.
It makes you think, how fragile a reputation can be,
Yeah.
especially now with social media,
No way.
where information spreads like wildfire.
It's a stark reminder of how accusations, they can have a lasting impact, even if they're proven false in the end.
Right.
It really makes us think about the responsibility we all have
Yeah.
when we make accusations, especially in public,
Yeah,
where the damage can be so hard to undo.
for sure.
And it makes you think, about apologies
Right.
and how we, as a society, handle them.
Yeah.
How do you fix someone's reputation after they've been cleared?
Right. Yeah. Is a simple apology enough to undo that kind of damage? I mean,
Right.
was Hart's statement, even if it didn't have like the exact wording that Jackson wanted, was it enough to really address the harm?
It really shows how important clear communication is.
Right.
Especially with something this sensitive, something that can affect someone's life and career for years.
Years. It's like, dot your I's, cross your T's.
Exactly.
Especially when reputations are on the line.
And, it makes you think about the media, too.
Oh, yeah.
What role do they play in all of this?
Right.
How do their stories shape what the public thinks?
Yeah.
And what responsibility do they have in reporting on stuff like this?
That's a great point. I mean, the media has so much power.
They do.
They shape public opinion. And a lot of times, that first story,
Yeah.
it's the one that sticks, even if later, the information turns out to be wrong.
Right.
Or incomplete.
The media has to be responsible.
Yeah.
They have to report thoughtfully, avoid all the sensationalism and focus on facts.
Fast.
Because, once a story takes off, it's hard to control.
Oh, for sure.
And the damage can last a long time.
So this case, it really makes you think about restorative justice, doesn't it?
It's interesting, right?
Yeah.
It's not about punishment. It's about fixing the harm.
Right.
And rebuilding trust.
But could that even work here?
Yeah.
With someone like Kevin Hart, I mean.
That's a good question. But wouldn't all the media attention, wouldn't that make real restorative justice, impossible?
Right.
I mean, the public can be harsh.
Oh, yeah.
And they don't always care about the facts.
It feels like this whole situation, it's like this perfect storm.
Yeah.
You've got individual actions, the media, and how the public sees things.
Right.
It's all kind of colliding.
Yeah.
It makes it tough to find a clear way to fix it.
Yeah, you've got to, this isn't just, a simple legal fight.
Right.
It's all these issues tangled up together.
Yeah.
It shows how hard it is to deal with accusations and apologies.
For sure.
And accountability in this world where information spreads so fast.
And of course, this lawsuit, it's still going on.
Right.
I'll have to see what happens, how the legal system decides all of this.
Right.
But no matter what happens, I think there are things we can learn from this whole story.
Totally. This case, it shows how important it is to be mindful of the things we say,
Right.
to understand what our words and actions can do.
Especially online.
Oh, especially online.
Where stuff can go viral in seconds.
It's a serious reminder that even if you're right in the end,
Yeah.
getting there can be rough.
Yeah.
And for the person on the other side, the hurt can last forever.
So as we wrap this part up, I have to ask, do you think there is any way to truly fix a reputation once it's damaged? Especially in the age of social media, I mean.
It's like, a digital scarlet letter.
Yeah.
You just can't get it off.
No matter how hard you try.
And this brings up even bigger questions like, what does it really mean to make things right?
Right.
Is there any way to actually fix your reputation
Right.
once the damage is done?
Yeah. Especially now,
Especially now.
with instant information and all that.
Yeah.
Things go viral so fast.
Before anyone can even, check if it's true.
Yeah. And that's what I keep thinking about, who's responsible here?
Right.
Is it the person who made the accusation, even if it was wrong in the end? What about the media?
Yeah.
Maybe they made it worse,
Right.
by spreading it before they had all the facts.
They could have shaped public opinion before, the truth came out.
Or maybe it's like everyone's fault a little bit.
Yeah.
Like we all have a part in fixing it.
It's complicated. There's no easy answer.
Right.
But this case, at least, it makes us think.
Yeah.
Makes us think about the information we see, the accusations we make,
Yeah.
and what our words and actions can actually do.
To other people.
Yeah, to other people.
Online and offline. Like we need to do our homework, be responsible, report things the right way.
And really try to be fair.
And find the truth.
Exactly.
But you know what? Public opinion, it doesn't always follow the rules.
Nope.
Like a court of law does.
Things can go viral so fast.
Yeah.
And once they do.
It's hard to, get control of the story.
So true. That's why it's so important to be careful.
Right.
About what we share.
Yeah.
Especially with sensitive stuff.
So, to bring it back to everyone listening, what does this all mean?
Yeah.
This whole Kevin Hart, JT Jackson thing?
Right.
It's easy to just focus on, who said what.
Yeah.
But when you take a step back,
Right.
there's so much more to it.
I think this case, it's a big reminder. Words have consequences.
Yeah.
We might not all be famous like Kevin Hart,
Right.
But we still have to use our words carefully.
Yeah.
Think about how they might affect other people.
It's like that saying, a butterfly flaps its wings.
Right.
And it causes a hurricane on the other side of the world.
Yeah. Even small things can have big effects.
And online, those effects can be huge.
This case also shows how important transparency is. Yeah. And owning up to what you did.
Right.
Whether it's a public apology, or taking back what you said, or just trying to fix the harm you caused.
Yeah.
Taking responsibility is key.
It builds trust so you can move forward.
So one last thing to think about. In this world, where information is always flying around.
Yeah.
And your reputation can be ruined just like that.
Right.
Can you really fix the damage once it's done?
That's the question.
And if you can,
yeah,
how do we make sure that happens?
As people.
As people.
And as a society.
As a society. It's not just about reputations.
Yeah.
It's about empathy.
Yeah.
Understanding. And making things right.
Yeah.
Where people are treated fairly.
Yeah.
Held accountable. But also given a chance to learn and grow.
This has really been eye-opening. It reminds us that even in messy situations,
Right.
Clear communication, thinking things through, and being fair, those things matter.
They do. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Yeah, we hope it's given you some stuff to think about, too.
Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and as always, keep diving deep.
See.